Hello again, people. Yes, it's that time of the year. I've got to talk about the 52 game challenge. I did complete the 52 game challenge. I've gone further than 52, but there's quite a few games which I've not decided to include because there were like a lot of Xbox indie games which were just done in like an hour to, well, probably about an hour. So I didn't count any of them unless I thought they were filthy. Then they got counted. Other than that, there's stuff that I've gone after 52. I'm not going to count it just because the video had gone forever otherwise, wouldn't it? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit there and go through all the games that I finished. If I remember, I have photos of all this stuff. Well, they're not good photos, but I took a photo every time I completed something and stuck it on my Instagram page. So if you ever want to see what stuff I complete, I use Instagram pretty much to show off bits of collection and what I finish, basically, gaming wise, and show off a couple of beers. So I'll leave a link to the Instagram page in the description of this as well. But that's only if you want to see it. The photos for the 52 game challenge, there was no effort put into them. They were literally get my phone out and snap the screen or whatever was there at the time. So they're not great, but it was just to keep a record. So I will put those photos up as I'm talking about the games. I would be holding up games and stuff, but to be honest, a lot of them I played this time was digital. I played a lot on Game Pass, so there'd be only ones I'd show like a couple, then there'd be a gap with no games being shown. So yeah, I'll just explain what they are. I have all my photos listed in front of me. I have to quickly tap through them on the computer so I remember what they were. But when I get to them, I will try to remember what they are. I will try to cut stuff out of this as well. There might be jump cuts just to make this video a bit shorter. And I'm going to start coughing as well. It's not good. Not the beginning. Let's get beer in me. That might have fought off the cough. Right. So, I won't be able to see what I'm doing. I might be looking the wrong way. All that jazz. So let's have a look. Up first, number 1 was Biomutant. Yeah, it's an open world, just an open world game. Kind of like it's like a cross between, I've said it many times, a cross between Ratchet and Clank and Borderlands is what it reminded me of. It's actually one of my favourite games I've played this year. So I'd recommend playing it. It's really cheap. It was PS Plus. It probably isn't now, but yeah, it's a really good game. It had a world that drew me in. It's like a post-apocalyptic world where the places you explored, they all felt different. Was the thing that drew me in, I think, because I don't like it when it just feels like a cookie cutter. There's a bandit camp, bandit camp, bandit camp. They're all the same, maybe with different enemy placements. So that just bores me. So yeah, that entertained me. The next one is actually 2 games in one. I classed it as. I finished all of the achievements on Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 3 on the Insane trilogy. So yeah, that involved all the gems, all the relics, like the time ones, a load of miscellaneous stuff. They were pretty tough, to be honest with you, some of it, but I'd done it before. I did it on the PlayStation, so I thought I'd go and do it again. I hadn't done the DLC level for Crash 3, which was the spacey one. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I hadn't done that, so that was brand new to me. And I didn't have any trouble with what's it called, Stormy Ascent or anything this time around, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, I enjoyed my Crash games. So far, I've tried Crash 4. I'm not a big fan of it so far, but I'll get back to it. I'll get back to it. Then number 4 was the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection on 360. It is just the Sonic's, was it Sonic's Mega Drive Collection or something? No, what's it called? Ultimate Mega Drive Collection on 360 in the UK. I don't know. It's the game that we got over here, but it has a separate stackable achievement list on 360. If you play the one from the States, so I did that. So I got all the games completed on that. Well, can't say all the games completed. I got all the achievements out of them, so I did the bare minimum of every game. But I got the 1000G, so I class that as a completion. And to be honest, out of all of these so far, I've got all achievements. So I tried, if I could, to get everything done on every game. After that was Hot Wheels Beat That. It's a Hot Wheels racing game, but it's incredibly repetitive, and the controls are really bad. It was a I think it's a really early 360 game. I think it came out on the PS2 as well. But yeah, it's not great. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But then again, I do like the sequel, the Hot Wheels World Best Driver. I do like that, and I haven't played Hot Wheels Unleashed yet, so I do need to give that a shot. If you're wondering why, there's going to be quite a bit of 360 at the beginning, because we had a 360 month, I think, in January. Following that was Crazy Taxi, the Dreamcast port, but on the 360, so it was on the Dreamcast collection. So yeah, I got all the achievements out of that, which required getting one of every type of license in arcade mode and I can't remember what the other mode was called. But then you have to do all the crazy box stuff, all the which involves what is it, like the bowling and that kind of stuff, and the jumps and like, the little like stunt track things, and it ends with a race around the entire city, I think, if I remember rightly. Then there's some filth after that. The Crayola Scoot. I don't know why I did this. Probably because I bought it and was right. Put it this way: going through, I watched Gordon Gib84's like 52 game challenge video, and he was going banger after banger. He was playing amazing games. I've come to the conclusion there's something wrong with me. Why do I play this crap? Why? But yeah, Crayola Scoot. It's imagine Splatoon on scooters, but really bad and single player. I think it does have multiplayer, but it was local, I think. Oh, it was dreadful. Controls were awful. It's like a cross between Tony Hawk's and Splatoon. That's what I'd consider it as. Don't play it. It's absolutely awful. After that, I did Zed Blade. Did the it's the Xbox version of it, but I played it on the PC. Yeah, it's a Neo Geo shmup. It's pretty good, to be honest. Thinking back to it now, I can't remember much about it, other than no, I don't remember much about it. That sounds really bad. I don't remember much at all. For some reason, I remember flying cubes, maybe. I don't know. I got the achievements out of it, but honestly, can't remember much about it. I did enjoy it. I know that much, but yeah, it wasn't a hard completion. Number 9 was Mighty Goose, which was a run and gun, like a 2D pixel, like graphics one, pixel art one. It was on Game Pass when I played it. Yeah, it's just, it kind of reminds me of Metal Slug with a goose. It's worth playing, and again, if you're into achievements, it's a pretty easy completion. You unlock a lot of like armor and stuff that makes you really powerful, if I remember rightly. So when you go back through it, you could smash it from the like S ranks. But yeah, Mighty Goose is good fun. I'm trying to get through these quick, as you can tell. Okay, after that was Samurai Showdown, the one just called Samurai Showdown that came out on the Xbox One. I can't tell you much more than that. It was alright as a fighter. It was better than Samurai Showdown Sen that was before it. There might have been another one between those two, but Sen was on the 360 and that had really repetitive, annoying music. But yeah, the just Samurai Showdown one, it was alright. After that, I did Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, which is the Persona 3 rhythm game. I've done it before on the Vita, which is, it's not called Dancing in Moonlight. It's called Dancing in Moon Knight, I think, on the Vita. The Vita one's got weird, like slightly off names, but I think it's because they did localize it, but digitally. I don't know on that one. Don't know why it's got a slightly different name. But yeah, it's good fun. I like the Persona rhythm games. I've still got the Persona 5 one to do on the PS4, but I'll do that at some point. I've done it on the Vita before. So yeah, it's good fun. If you've ever played them, it's the same as Persona 4. Is it Dancing All Night? Is that called? I don't know. They're just rhythm games. They're good fun though. After that, I did One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. That's a strange game. It's a fighter, but like kind of with a story. So you free roam around this little town, and you run into enemies, kind of like an RPG. They sometimes just appear in front of you, and you have to fight them, but in like a one-on-one style fight. But it plays more like some like Power Stone than like Tekken or something, but it doesn't play that much like Power Stone. It's just an arena, and it's you, and you can run around. It's really weird. I think it plays pretty much the same as Jump Force if you've played that. Then after that, I did Taiko no Tatsujin, the Drum Master. I did that on Xbox. Annoying thing about doing it on Xbox is you have to play it with a controller because there is no Xbox drum. I think there might be a PC one that you could have used, but there's no Xbox release one. It was a very long game, very very long. You had to do a certain amount of challenges and grind out a certain amount of things every day. It took a very long time, like hundreds of hours if I remember rightly. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it so much that I picked up the PS4 one that came before that, which is the drum. What's it called? Drum. I'm looking at it, but it's in Japanese, so I can't remember what it's called. Can't remember what it's called. Something like Drum Sessions or Drum. I don't know. Don't know what it's called. Just ignore me. Then after that was Grid Legends. I got all the achievements out of that. That was pretty fun. I actually put a review up for this on my channel, so if you want to know anything about it, you can look at that. Or I can tell you, it's an alright racer. There's a lot of grinding like miles to level cars up so you could open certain events. But for that, it was alright. Since the 1000G on that, it's had a couple of DLC updates, but I've done them as well now. So basically, it was completed twice. After that was Animal Super Squad, which is kind of like a trials kind of game. So like a physics based kind of, I don't know, it was like all different vehicles you had to get across like courses and stuff. I remember it being really bad and quite janky. Everything kept going wrong, but it was an easy completion. So, but it takes a bit of time, but it was all right. Oh, after that, this is back when I was doing a lot of my streams for like bad games. I streamed a game called Fantasy Friends, which was a little pet simulator kind of game. It's the kind of thing I wouldn't ever really include in this kind of completion thing. But to get all the trophies, it didn't even have a platinum trophy, did it? It just had gold trophy. There's the top one on PlayStation. That sucks, but yeah, it was. It took hours of literally just doing the same things of rubbing like the belly of your horse or whatever it was you were looking at, then hoping they did a dump and clean that up and weed around their houses. I don't know why I played it, but yeah, playing bad games on YouTube. It was quite, to be honest, it's fun to play those types of things when they're awful and people are watching. But when I go back and try to finish all the trophies and achievements on them, I do wonder what I'm doing with my life, but I can't leave them undone. The 17th game was Mega Man 11. It was one that it's the first one I did which I didn't get all the trophies or achievements on. It's one I streamed it and I was struggling like anything to get through it. Like the Yellow Devil on it, he did my nut in. Getting through the boss rush at the end, I was not good at it. I'm not a good Mega Man player, to be honest with you, so I was expecting to suck at it, and I really did. Looking at the picture, it took me 3 hours and 53 minutes by the looks of it to beat it. Because I did stream that one as well, and I don't think people thought I was going to beat it, going with how dreadful I was. So yeah, just hitting the end of that was definitely completion worthy for my list. Following that, it was Forza Horizon 5. Got all the achievements out of that. That's recently had more achievements. So I've only got the 1000G on it, but I will go back and do it at some point. It's just a massive game, so it takes up way too much space on the hard drive, so I can't really be bothered to install it at the moment. It's also the worst one of the lot. I would say it was a pretty looking game, but the areas are just barren. It looks good when you're up near like the temples and stuff with all the trees and that around you, but most of the rest of it you're just driving through like desert. I didn't find that entertaining. So, but yeah, it's still not a bad game. It's just there's too many of them now that they're all the same, and and that just had a boring setting. Number 19. Oh, that was yeah, Beebiss 2. I got a copy of it from Dana at Hidden Chest Gaming to review, because he got sent out some review copies of it. I did do a review of it. If you want to see it, it's on the channel. It's not a good game. It's the same 10 levels repeated 10 times, where all you have to do is you don't clear the screen. I can't believe you do. Jump. You've got to collect things or something, a certain amount of things. I can't remember. It was that bad. I've blocked it from my mind. It's not good. It's a game by John Riggs, like, and someone else and another company. I can't remember who it is, but it's yeah, it's not one you should rush out and get. Number 20 was Evan's Remains. That is a part visual novel, part like puzzle platformer. It's got actually a pretty interesting story. I'd recommend it for the story. And some of the puzzles are a little tough at times, but it's got a really cheeky thing that if you really didn't want to, you could skip all the puzzles and just do the story. So I guess it's the best of both worlds. I don't think you can skip the story and just do the puzzles though. So you're stuck with the visual novel element of it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. Number 21 was Clockwork Aquario. Got the platinum trophy on that on the PlayStation 4. It's a game. It's an old arcade game which never came out and got finished by who was it? Was it Strictly Limited that finished it and sent it out? I think it was Strictly Limited. But yeah, it's all right. It's one of those games that did better with the fact that it had trophies than anything else, because that made me play it with every character and try to find all the little bits and stuff and try to beat the scores. If it was just playing it as an arcade game to beat it, it takes like 30 minutes, maybe less. It's really short. So yeah, it's worth going for all the trophies. That actually extended the life of the game by quite a bit. I had to complete it. Was it four? Somewhere between 4 and 6 times, I think. But yeah, I did it in one sitting, so it's still not very long to beat, but a very good game. I did enjoy it. It's made by people who did Wonder Boy, I think. Then up was Concrete Genie. It was a game I played before and I couldn't get into it, so I thought, screw this, I'm going to start this again. I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I actually ended up really enjoying it. I think it's before I didn't like it because I thought it was going to be like the spray painting sections of infamous Second Son. But it isn't. It is just slapping stickers on a wall that come to life. But it's more of a narrative driven game. This doesn't really have lots of combat or anything. It's more using your little sticker dudes you stick on walls to do puzzles to get past people with a bit of stealth. But it was good fun. It did have some VR content at the end that I had to do for some of the trophies, which was a bit weird. It was just kind of like a storybook kind of thing or something, if I remember rightly. I can't remember. It was like just simple little rooms, and you'd look around, and something would happen if you looked at it. It was, yeah, the VR section was a bit crap, to be honest with you. After that was a Monkey King. Hero is Back. That was a strange game. I don't really know what to say about it. It was quite a good game. It was like the retelling of the story of like Monkey and that, isn't it? That the TV show Monkey was, and Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, that kind of thing. But it was kind of it was like just like a 3D beat 'em up kind of game. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It was definitely budget title, but it wasn't bad budget title. But it had some DLC come out for it, and I tried that, and one of them was like a shooter kind of section, and the other one was like a trial mode where you have to run through things for like 2 hours. And that wasn't fun. I didn't get all the trophies on it. I did get to the end, saw the end, and beat the DLC to the minimum requirements. But I would recommend it. It's like a real cheap game, like 3 or 4 quid or something like that. Something like that. It's worth playing. Just not a fun completion. There's loads of collectibles and stuff, and I don't know. Give it a shot. Number 24 was Kuon on the PS2. It's a From Software horror game, like a survival horror. I'm not a big fan of most From Software games. This is probably one of the top ones I've played. But it's not one that's reviewed well or anything. You're like investigating some strange thing going on with these silkworms. It's set in like, is it feudal Japan? It's set in, I don't know, old Japan. We'll call it old Japan. But yeah, it's like a ritual to bring people back from the dead. But for a survival horror, it's quite long. To get to the proper end, there's 3 playthroughs. The first 2 are quite long. They kind of like run next to each other, and the third one's a shorter playthrough. It's also surprisingly easy for a survival horror. You have an ability to just heal yourself whenever you want. But other than that, it was a good game. It wasn't scary. It had a couple eerie sections, but that's about it. If you do ever want to play it though, just download it from somewhere. It's not worth paying the money for. It's a pricey bad boy. 25 was Freedom Finger. I don't remember if I had a platinum or not, but I got all the trophies out of it. It's a shooter where you play as a spaceship shaped like a giant finger. Yeah, it's got some strange humor to it. It's very kind of in your face, America's the greatest kind of kind of thing. Some of the stuff in it I was surprised they got away with, to be honest with you. It's quite fun. I think I streamed it, my initial playthrough of it. It wasn't too bad to finish as well. There was a few bits I had to go back and retry, but yeah, it was a bizarre game, but it's quite funny, to be honest with you. 26 was SpongeBob SquarePants Rehydrated on the PS4. I played it because it was part of PlayStation Plus. Yeah, was it SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, isn't it? Good game. Yeah, if you like little kiddies platformers, it's a good game. I never played the original, but I always heard that it was like a hidden gem and it was amazing. I don't think it was good enough to warrant a remake. It was alright, but I guess I didn't have the nostalgia for it, so I just went into it and played it like any other 3D platformer. To be honest, it's probably the best SpongeBob game I've played though. So yeah, it's worth playing. Not very long. I can't remember. What 25 hours to get platinum on it. I think it was. Can't remember. But yeah, it's worth a play if you like 3D platformers. It's not the most polished though. After that was Life is Strange 2. It's a game I really didn't like to start off with, but after about the 3rd chapter on, it picked up and it became interesting. It's about 2 boys that run away and they're trying to cross the border to Mexico, and a lot of weird stuff happens on the way. Like the younger boys got like magical powers, and they're trying to hide that from people. And yeah, it's a good game. I do like the Life is Strange games. One of the ones I've just finished is Life is Strange True Colors, which isn't in this, but I've done it after the 52, and that is much better. I would recommend playing that over this. 28 was a game called Beyond Eyes. That was a strange game. It's been removed from the Microsoft Store now, but basically you're blind and you can't like see anything. Everything's like white. So when you walk around, you get like little bits of environment around you, and things will happen which you can't tell what they are until you've like sussed them out. Like you'll think there's something really bad in front of you, but like a big dog or something, but it turns out to be a car, and it was a bit strange. It was an easy completion, but I put it on here because it was a bit tedious and took me a bit of time. But it was a different concept. It was an interesting concept for a game. I just wish you could move a bit faster, but I guess if you're blind, you're not going to be like darting around everywhere like a madman, are you? You're going to be taking it quite slow. So it's worth a watch. Worth a play. 29 was Mega Turrican on the Mega Drive. That's hard. That game is hard. I spent a couple of days sitting there trying to learn it until I got to the end of it. The bit where it starts going like, kind of like Aliens, where you've got like face huggery things. I was not good at that. That took me a lot of a lot of attempts. But yeah, I was happy to beat it. Do I think I'd want to sit there and do it again anytime soon? No, I'd play until I die and not try and fight to the end, because I don't think I'd get to the end again. Plus, when I was trying to learn at that level with a train, I kept falling off the train and it was dumb and nothing. I think it's a train or something. You're riding on the back of something that's like a train. Number 30 was Tailspin on the NES. Yeah, it's just a little shooter. It's a very, very simple shooter. The strange thing about it is you can turn around and go backwards, which seemed weird in a game that seemed linear. But yeah, it was a fun little game. Didn't take very long. It's really not difficult at all. But I'd recommend giving it a shot. I actually played it on the collection that was on the Xbox, but it is the NES game. 31 was a game called Cruise Brothers, which is a really, really bad, like, 2D fighter. It looks, I don't know, I can't even explain it. You ever played the game Quap, where you have to make that guy run down like a, I think, is he hurdling? I can't remember. But like you have to control all the limbs and he keeps falling over. It looks like that. It's absolutely dreadful. And it takes way longer than it should to complete. But it does have 4,000 gamer score, so take away from that what you will. After that was Bejeweled 3 on the 360. It was just more Bejeweled matching 3 to 5 gems in a row and blowing stuff up. I remember you have to get all like everything gold and stuff. Like you get different types of modes and you have to beat all of them. But it was a really easy completion. It was just getting everything to gold or higher took a bit of time. It wasn't hard, but everyone knows what Bejeweled is. It's basically it's what Candy Crush ripped off. Number 33 is probably one of my favourite games that I've played this year. It's Power Washing Simulator. I know, it's weird, but it is literally, they stick you in an environment with a power washer and you have to clean everything. It is so relaxing that I actually was upset when I finished it. The last level, you can play it in co-op, so my mate jumped in to help me on it. He's cleaning this giant temple. I think between us, like both working on it, it still took us like 5 hours to clean this temple. It was ridiculous, but it's such a good game. It's so relaxing. There needs to be a sequel. Is there going to be a sequel? There needs to be. 34 was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Little 3D Kirby platformer. Very good game. There isn't a great deal to say about it, other than it's more like Mario 3D Land than anything else, to be honest with you. That's the thing I could put it closest to, or Super Lucky Tail, or I thought of another game earlier that it reminded me of. What was it? I can't remember what the other one was, but I was like, it really reminds me of that. Never mind. But yeah, you can like do what you usually do in Kirby games. The only difference is you get that mouth mode, so you can like turn yourself into cars, vending machines, like this big air firing thing. It's really bizarre, but yeah, the game's pretty good. It's odd that it's in like a post-apocalyptic setting for a Kirby game, but it's good. It's a good game. I'd recommend it to you. It's one of the ones I've probably played the most of on the Switch this year. After that was another Switch game. It was a game called To the Moon, which is I think it was made in an RPG Maker. It's a little 16-bit style RPG looking game, but it's more of a visual novel walking simulator in that style. But it has, I don't know, it was a story that really, really gripped me. I didn't want to stop playing. I did it start to finish in one go. It's a very depressing story, but if that's the kind of thing you're into, give it a play. I can't say much. I can't stop burping because of this beer. Can't say much about it without giving it away. I can tell you what the story's kind of about. It's about people who come in who are tasked with, when people are like on their deathbed, to try and find out, or give them their best send off. So Yeah, it's a strange premise, but it's a very good game. But I think there's a sequel to it, but it's never been released on Switch. I think it's on Steam. So if it ever comes to Switch, I will buy that as well. It's fantastic. This is one that my girlfriend randomly bought for me as a gift, and I loved it. I forced her to sit down and play it, and she loved it too. So yeah, play to the moon. Since I played the Powerwash simulator, it got me on a bit of a simulator kick. So number 36 was House Flipper. Basically, it's what you said. You buy derelict houses, do them up, and sell them on. It was surprisingly addictive. There's not much else to it than that. You just do up houses. There is a DLC which adds gardens, so then you do gardening and stuff. So I did that as well. But since then, there's been like a luxury update which I haven't done. So I think it adds. I don't know. I don't know if it adds upper floors. Because there's no stairs or anything in this one. It might add that kind of thing. I don't know. Don't know what it does. It's probably just mansions, but I'll have to give it a shot. Still on the simulator kick. Number 37 was a game called Barn Finders. It is, if you've ever seen the TV show Storage Wars, it is a simulator of Storage Wars. You go buy up like storage containers, look for them, sell the stuff on. You also go to vacant houses and bid to get into them. Go through, dig through all the stuff. Then all the stuff you get, you take it back to your shop and you flog it on. Yeah, you can repair bits and stuff. It's, to be honest, it's surprisingly in depth for what it was. It's got a very strange sense of humor to it though, like a really childish sense of humor, and it's set out like really redneck. But it's worth playing, to be honest. It was pretty cheap on the Xbox store, I think. Oh, number 38 was Assassin's Creed 3. I was trying to get through it because the servers were going offline on 360, and there was one that you had to beat the game to get to a certain point so you could do an online section in the single player, which is finding these points. Oh, it was so boring. The whole game was ridiculously boring. I did not enjoy it. It was more of just the same Assassin's Creed. The best bits were the ship bits, which they made a whole game of, like for Assassin's Creed 4. So you can see why. But I liked the native kind of spin on it. That was interesting. But other than that, the story was just bland. And I don't know. It was just more Assassin's Creed, and I've had enough of Assassin's Creed. I haven't tried any of the newer ones like Origins and there was the new. I don't know what the other ones are. What's it called? Valhalla, is that one of them? I don't know. They're more RP. They got more RPG elements to them, but I know that they take like hundreds of hours, and I don't know if I could be asked to do hundreds of hours in Assassin's Creed. It's a shame because I started off really enjoying the series when it first came out, and it just got stupidly boring. Oh, back on the simulators. Number 39 was Treasure Hunter Simulator. See, I told you, I don't know what's wrong with me with these. I played some stupid shit. So yeah, 39 was Treasure Hunter Simulator. Basically, it's a metal detecting simulator. So it would say like, go to this graveyard, find some bits. That's it. It was annoying the girlfriend, to be honest with you, because the noise of the metal detector is pretty constant. But I did enjoy it. It's an easy completion as well as another 1000G. Like as I said, pretty much all of these I made sure I tried to get 1000G out of stuff. I could have smashed way more than I did if I'd just done the stories on a lot of stuff. But I needed to get those completions. It's a sickness. Number 40, I did the remake of. Is it a remake or more of an HD upscaling? I don't know. Of a Panzer Dragoon on the Switch. So yes, the Sega Saturn game. Sadly, it's not Saga. It is just the the standard flying on the backs of your dragon, shooting shit. It was good. It was a pretty short game. It didn't take long at all. We did it in one sitting. The only thing I was playing, it was the first time I'd actually ever played Panzer Dragoon. But the whole time I was playing it is thinking I'd played Crimson Dragon, which is like a spiritual successor to it that was made and released right at the beginning of the Xbox One, and that just had more depth. That was a fantastic game. I don't think a lot of people liked it though. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just Panzer Dragoon. But I'd recommend playing Crimson Dragon over the re-release of Panzer Dragoon. That's probably blasphemy. Oh, this was the start of a few this year. I've been trying to complete all the F1 games. It's a quest. I don't know why I'm doing it. They're long and they're all the same, but I'm determined. So 41 was F1 2014 on the Xbox 360. To be honest, doing a lot of these, there's a lot of online in all these F1 games. So I usually get a hand from Gernaldinho Plays, old Rob, and we get the online done, and then try and I'll sit around and go for the single player. He smashes them out quicker than I do. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. Don't know how he sits there and does the same stuff over and over. I get bored after a while. But yeah, I'm not doing too bad. So we had F1 2014. Number 42 was the Gunk, which kind of it was a relaxing game. Basically, you land on an alien planet and something's going on. You don't know what it is, but it's covered in this gunk, and you walk around with a big vacuum on your arm, and you suck up all the gunk. That is pretty much the game, but it's got an interesting story. The planet to explore is pretty interesting. It's not a very long game. It also it made me want more power washing simulator, because when you get rid of all the gunk, it cleans up and the world starts to grow back. So yeah, it had that kind of vibe to it. But I'd recommend the Gunk to anyone. It was a good game. It's on Game Pass. I don't think it's going to disappear from Game Pass because I think it is a first party title. So I think it's the only way to play it is digitally as well. I don't think it came. I don't think there is a physical of it. But it's a good game. 43 was F1 21. Yeah, F1 2021. Again, it was just more F1. These games, there's not much to them. It's playing through seasons, playing some online. That's about it, to be honest with you. They don't add that much different. The differences mainly are how many laps it makes you do per race. Sometimes it'll make you do minimum of 5 laps, sometimes a minimum of 15 laps per game for like your career mode. Some of them, 2021, I think, had the first time it had the My Team. So it was you build your team up. You have to make sure you're paying to like research bits of your car, which to us is all right, but you get so many of these little interviews in between stuff, and they're always the same, and they're so annoying. But it's still a good game if you like F1. I don't like F1. I just like the games for some reason. Number 44 was a game called Kill It With Fire. Basically, you're well, I don't know if you're an exterminator. You're just in like buildings, like office buildings and stuff, and they're overrun with spiders, and you've got to kill them with as much things as you can. And it gets stupid. It gets to the point that you're throwing like Molotov cocktails, rocket launchers at spiders. It's pretty fun. It's pretty chaotic. It's just good fun. It's not a very long game, but I did enjoy it. It was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is, but I don't know if it got released anywhere else. 45 was Army of Two: The 40th Day. It's another one that was going offline, and we were trying to complete all the achievements on it. But the game broke me. Went through it 2 times, I think it was 2 or 3 times, and each time I did it on the hardest difficulty setting, and I didn't get the achievement for the hardest difficulty. Rob got the achievement for hardest difficulty, but I didn't. I just got normal, and that was breaking me. It's painful. It's not a good game. It's a Gears of War clone with the cover-based shooting, but it's super janky and super glitchy. I actually played the first Army of Two and didn't mind it, but 40th Day, something about it, couldn't get into it. It was just broken. Number 46 was F1 2020. So, yeah, again, more F1. I can't remember what I had to do on this one. It was some of them have really long online and some of them really short online. Some of them like just play like 100 matches, but something like F1 2010 on the Xbox 360, which I'm still working on, is complete everything on the hardest difficulty, complete stupid amounts of online, like reaching level 50 on it, but it takes like 100 hours, and that's boosting it. It's ridiculous. But yeah, F1 2020 I don't think was that bad. Number 47 was the Terminator on the Mega CD. It's a game I had as a kid, and I always wanted to beat it and get it back in my collection. And when I got it in, I beat it finally. Tough game. I wouldn't call it a run and gun. I'd call it a platformer with a gun. Um, it's not like you shoot everything and enemies die in one shot. So it's more methodical. It is a good game though. Apart from the last level, that can eat a bag of dicks. The amount of times I got to the last level, or just before, it was one just before the last level, I think. You had to keep jumping over pits and jumping and grabbing hold of like ladders, but there was nothing like that in the game before that point, and the actual detection of grabbing hold of the ladder wasn't the best. So you just fall and you die. And I'm pretty sure it didn't have any continues. I don't think the game had continues. It was just like it starts with like 3 lives and whatever you gather throughout the game. So it's pretty tough towards the end. But I finally beat it, and I did enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy the last section. It's Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. That's one I played years ago on the Dreamcast. So I thought I'd give it a go on the PS2. Finally beat it. It's a survival horror game, like old school style. Running at the beginning, running around in a mansion, finding keys, solving puzzles, that kind of thing. But halfway through, it becomes really linear and has more like action-based things, and that took away my enjoyment of it. It was still an alright game. You could tell it was a PS1 game or Dreamcast game dumped onto a PS2 disc. There wasn't anything done differently to make it look a bit polished, but it was alright. I'd play for it again in a couple of years. Do it next time. I'll give the amount of time between when I played it on the Dreamcast and the PS2. So was that about 20 years? Number 49 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Very good game. Very, very good game. If you like your old school Turtles side-scrolling beat 'em ups, to be honest, I think it's the best one that's ever been. But if you're going for the achievements, you have to level up every character to level 10, and that is a slog. It doesn't. It sounds like it doesn't take long. It's like a couple hours, about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe per character. But when you realise there's like, what is it, 4? I can't remember. 7 or 8 characters. Yeah, it becomes a bit tedious, but it's pretty good. That you can play the entire thing online as well, so that was good fun. I played through most of it with Rob again, and we had a blast when we were playing it. So I'd recommend it to anyone. It was on Game Pass is where I played it. I don't know if it still is. Number 50. I wanted something really stupid on my 52 game challenge. Not like I haven't already had really stupid things on there, but this is real stupid. It was the Microsoft Solitaire collection for like your mobile phone and Windows, and that it has achievements. I wanted to beat it, so it's just like grinding up levels and beating certain amounts of online like daily challenges and stuff. But it took almost 300 hours of playtime. Why I did that, I don't know, but I'm happy I did. It was a stupid thing to do, but I'd do it again. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know why. I thought, oh, this was just real stupid on a 52 game challenge at the end of the year. So yeah, Solitaire collection. Number 51 was another F1 game. It's F1 2018. This had a stupidly annoying achievement. You had to generate enough electricity to power a light bulb for a certain amount of years or something, using was it the ERS or something? I don't know what the terminology is for F1. So basically, yeah, it was just a lot of grinding, driving around the track, building up your battery. Basically, it took ages. It took a long time to do. But other than that, the rest of the game was really quite easy and quite quick, I think. But yeah, again, it was just more F1, so racing around a track, same tracks, always same tracks in it, so it was alright. And number 52 was a bit of a bizarre one. I put something in to install, and I can't remember what it was, and I thought I'll just play something while it's installing. So I started playing Costume Quest 2, and I didn't stop playing Costume Quest 2 until I beat the 1000G out of it. I really enjoyed it. It's just a little Halloween themed turn-based RPG by Double Fine. So like Tim Schafer and them kind of people. So it's got a decent sense of humour and everything to it. You can tell it's like a little budget title they've done. But yeah, it was good fun. So what I will do now is say that is the end of the 52 game challenge. I have made it to the end. I don't know how long this video is. Too long, I imagine. I've tried to run through it as fast as I can, which meant I've probably not talked about the games much or said anything interesting about them. But I'll put the pictures up. As I said, they're shit pictures, and I might put a little bit at the bottom to say what game I'm talking about, because I don't know if I've even mentioned what game it is every time, so we'll find out. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. I am gonna go and try and edit this, and it's gonna take me ages. Just to add pictures, it's gonna take me ages. But never mind. Have fun, people.